And we're live.
Okay, in fact, we recorded one video for our friends on the Facebook, and I don't know what went wrong with that. I did try to upload on my YouTube channel also. Anyhow, basically, what we were trying to get at was 4 days through 2019, and American government still partially shut, and that certainly has sent a lot of bad waves all over the world. What would happen? And plus the crisis looming all over, especially the Arab world and the China and Russia access for taking over hegemony from United States of America. Interestingly, we have here one German descendant, Mr. Bodo, who is in USA from 1950 onwards. We have Tim, who has an Irish background, and Alison from America here. Bodo, I would like to start from you. That how do you, being an astrologer and having a very good overview about the political situation going on right now, take 2019. There are some news of even martial law or Mr. Trump being the last president.
Yes, I personally think, that we finally have arrived there. I don't think so, it's a political situation. It is a simple statement by the bankers that they are not able to keep the system together any longer. And it will collapse under its own weight. The people are not being asked, consulted, or in any which way involved in that. And yes, have to eat that what is handed down to them. I do not believe that is fair. And something definitely has to be done. And we have finally arrived at the point where they may have to consider martial law or any drastic way to keep the people out of involvement, and they do not have any input whatsoever what is being done at higher levels. That is very, very bad political practice. Always backfired, never worked, and was condemned to defeat since day one. So I think we as a people have now to take steps to protect our own interests regardless of what. It's a free for all, and I will think this is a watershed here, what we have anticipated for the longest of time and wished that it never happened.
Tim, you come from a very humble background, and you have been through many uh, workforce systems and medical care facilities, etc., etc. How do you think that when I compare it with Pakistan, at least, people, not only that people have no say in the system, but people, there is hardly any option for them rather to take it all this trash lying down. Is it so, what you think, in United States of America vis-a-vis middle class, that they will take lying down this drama between Democrats and Republicans?
Well, I think eventually that it'll be resolved and maybe go back more to the what the Constitution says rather than what the leaders of the country say. There's a big split in the Congress and the presidency. I back the president. The Congress, the leadership, is all about getting revenge for losing the election. That's the way I feel about it. And they never say anything nice about Trump. It's always accusing him of this or that. Their main goal is to get him out of office for revenge. The leadership cares about the leadership of the party. They don't care about the American people. They'll do what's best for them, and the heck with us. And I think 2019 will be a very confrontational year between the parties. I think there has to be some kind of blockage of what the Democrats want. They don't want to participate for the American people. They participate for themselves. And they're mad at Trump because he lost the election. And anything they do is they want revenge. And it seems like that's what they're going to go after. And the heck with us. So I believe in the wall for the protection of the country. There's a right way of going through immigration, and there's the way it is now. And I don't think we can tolerate that.
Allison, with the U.S. fundamentals so strong in terms of natural resources, in terms of human resource, in terms of technology, as I personally feel my own kids studying here at the college graduate level, and American standards certainly are no match to the rest of the world. And probably that was the reason which irritated Trump too in enforcing the patent and intellectual property laws and having Huawei chief's daughter arrested in Canada, and that it's not possible just copy our technology and start selling it. Given this background, how do you see America progressing further? A country which has given so much to the world in terms of, I was reading the other day about the Nobel Prize winners. If US has 250, the next second one is at 130 or 120. So how you think it will progress, or would it be less violent, and would it be a smooth transition, more like a social contract?
Mm-hmm. I would like to think that it would be smooth. Again, like I said, Trump wasn't the right personality to come in, but he did show the change that could happen here, that should happen here. And I'm going to freeze up here. So
in fact, I tend to agree with Tim that this match is becoming more personal rather than focused on the problems people are facing. Democrats and Republicans are playing it in a very partisan way.
well, and it kind of always has been that way, the Democrats versus the Republicans, and kind of the people a little bit in the middle. And Trump has now taken it to the people, and the Democrats have taken it to Trump. And like Tim said, Trump,
What do you think that when you say that there are chances that Trump may clamp martial law, being the commander-in-chief, and what do you think, this then political system will collapse, or we have to go for some new arrangement?
I don't think there's any new arrangement. I think he will carry out that, to keep the country up and running. And the only way he can keep it up and running is cut the Democrats out. Or shut the government down, what he's doing right now. And so far I have not seen anything from the Democratic side to clean up the trash that is now generated in the national parks, or civil servants that have to serve without pay. Nothing is being done. It is just get rid of Trump. So the only other choice they would have physical to assassinate the man if they cannot legally remove him from office, and then of course take it over for themselves. All this is unacceptable to the American people. Totally unacceptable, and I think there where the proverbial poop will hit the fan, and things will collapse very fast. And he has all what his name implies the trump card on his hand.
Yeah, but one thing which worries me about him is that he also has got a corporate background, and
Yeah.
he also have been taking this his office or his operations more like a business transaction. And three of you are Americans, three of you are from American middle class. I wonder whether how, if in say last 100 years or so, you have been taking, lying down the corporate pressures, the corporate monopolies,
Yes.
like McDonald's or Walmart's or Amazon's employees do not get even 1% of the total profit they get. Recently, Apple got into $1 trillion figure, and how then really they will cope with this free economy and this capitalist system, and then keeping that middle class, 80% of people or more than 80% happy.
I think, he did the job, for ego satisfaction. The
Yeah,
72-year-old
that
man,
you were
he
right.
has had all the corporate support over
Absolutely.
his entire life, something that will benefit all of us, and I believe that that's the way he concocted the American future history and wants to carry it out in one way or another and keep the country going, because he knows very well that the corporate solution is a total collapse.
Yes.
We are set up for it. We know the numbers. We know they missed all the deadlines to make the necessary financial correction to the world market, or the relationship to our unquote friends and associates around the world. All is now coming to a screeching halt. What is left to do? Then go, for the Armageddon solution. which
Listen,
nobody
how
wants.
you see the religious or the role of the church in it. I somehow felt, being here in USA, that church has almost been sidelined. They, like our most of the Muslim system in mosques and other Islamic institutions, they have come up with their own fiefdoms, own personalized
Agendas.
personal benefit, and giving them advantage, not catering to the general moral needs of the population. Like, I have been studying about spirituality a lot here in America since last 2.5 years, and I have really been impressed by American spiritual writers. And that certainly, because, as you know, spirituality is a zero ground level, and it is beyond religions. You see, it talk more about humanity. And so, what do you think, really? People will really say enough is enough, and like the way Democrats, when lost the election and there were protests, there was no steam in those protests. It appeared to be more paid protests, not something which comes up spontaneous, like a French Revolution, and then you have a big say and a big go. This time I see either persons like Trump, they either take those steps which do not force people to come on the streets, okay, or people are bound to come on the streets. This is my own feeling about the things.
Well, as far as I might be the wrong one to ask about the churches and religion, but I saw something the other day that said religion is sitting in church thinking about kayaking, and spirituality is sitting in a kayak thinking about God. And I used to be a very, very religious person, and I myself have gone a little ways away from organized religion. I might upset Carl by saying that, but I don't like organized religion. Just like you said, they're there for their own purpose and not for the purpose of the people.
It is more, I think, general morals which are to be worried about or carried on. Tim, what do you think?
About
Like religions have not really been able to cater to the morality or the good side of the whole governance system.
yeah, I haven't seen any kind of response from them really. That's they haven't stepped forward where you really notice that they want to make a change or a contribution to what's going on. I'm kind of like Allison. I'm not don't care about about congregations. It's more the individuals' thoughts and beliefs, and I think each person should try to do the best they can for themselves and for others, and hopefully good things come from that.
Actually, the competition element brought by capitalism was running against that theme of altruism. You see, they put us into such a evil competitiveness and the competition. We in spirituality believe that each individual is unique and he has everything in the world to attend to. But now the situation has turned so bad, really. What do you think? We all have kids growing up, not exactly growing up now, they are grown-up kids in United States. How do you think that when they think about our generation, do they blame us where they are now, or they have been trained enough to play a better role than we played and we neglected, or mistakes we made?
No, I think we probably did the best we could. I think whatever problems they have are brought about by themselves or their own desires, drug addiction, that type
To
of
my
thing
mind-
is an individual thing. And we don't, as adults, we haven't condoned that with our children, but through growing up, they were exposed to that through other people, and they've adapted that type of lifestyle.
But our leaders, they are the basically are to be followed. And Mr. Bodo, how you take, sometime one question puzzles me a lot, whether the whole of this thing is going as per some drama, or I often tell you that we are the choreographer of this dance. Okay, we are dancing also and we are the choreographers also. Like one way of putting it is that to bring in Trump was destiny's role being played, in bringing a person like Trump.
It is always the same thing, that when you sign up with a contract with God to incarnate on this planet, that you want to fulfill certain requirements that you either shy of, short of, and you go to do the best you can to fulfill that. Otherwise, you would not have a reason to be here in the first place.
Yeah.
It is not for your pleasure, entertainment,
Yes,
or
that
anything.
I do agree
It
with
is an
you.
obligation you made for yourself before God, and once your time is up, you're 70, you're done. And you will be taken off, the next person takes over. No, it's up to you if you want to match the general effort.
I wanted to ask you specifically about our relationship with destiny and with these leaders who are ruling us, or the ruling elite.
Well, it finally has dawned on each and every one of us that these so-called self-proclaimed leaders are not that what they claim to be. They have their own agenda, and they're using you.
Absolutely, because
so far, I have not been
I
demonstrated.
totally agree with you. If these duties are to be discharged honestly, You see, it's a pretty tough job. Nobody would like to become the president or the
No,
mayor.
I would not
or-
either. No.
You see, if
Yes.
somebody asked me to be the mayor of this
That's right.
community, I would certainly run away.
So here we have a self-made 72-year-old man. What is his real agenda in that? You would ask that. And how come, he proclaims to be your speaker for your problems, which apparently hasn't taken
Unless
care of
destiny has put him there.
there. Yes, I would say so.
Then you were saying something. I thought that in regarding this, that how much destiny is playing its part, or how much it is within our efforts and our actions which can really change things for us for the good or the bad.
Right. Yeah, I think the individual has choices to make. About destiny, that's kind of hard to answer that.
To really draw a line is, Alison, pretty difficult. That what was destined, and
Yeah.
maybe some, as Bodo used the word karmic debts, maybe some karmic debts are also ongoing and you are discharging them. How do you take that thing, Bodo? And how do you take this Trump's assertions about the environment pollution, that it's a hoax, there is nothing like that, since you being an
Here
astronomer?
I am divided again. What is he really doing? What is a recognized pollution? We had pollution before. We know what it does. What is now real? What is made up? Personally, global warming, as far as I was able to research for my own purposes, is a farce. It doesn't exist. There are more volcanoes at the South Pole that spit out more pollution into the atmosphere for hundreds of thousands of years now, which never been noticed and has not done nothing. And out of a sudden it does matter.
Yes,
It does not add up to
it's a
reality.
pretty relative term. You see, it's a pretty relative term. What exactly the damage is being
Yeah,
caused
what is
to
the
the
visible
planet?
damage?
Well,
now?
is it damage or is it nature taking its course? Because at one time where we sit right now, this was glacial ice.
Yeah, ice age. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
So obviously something happened to make the land what it is now, and
Making room for idiots like us
yeah, exactly.
to come here and make a mess of everything and have likes of Trump as the president.
And then maybe it'll freeze us up again. That would be nice.
Yes, certainly it is. But one, do you think, Bodo, that new generation is geared up to take on these challenges, which the world is really throwing them?
If our administrations would be honest to us, I guess we work, like a one-up paper hanger to correct the situation. But it is flawed. Unfortunately, it's flawed. It is pseudoscience for the best and cannot be proven by anything unless we sit it out for the next 100,000 years and can tell the difference if it was wrong or right. These are not ongoing processes.
But one thing is very good, that as we were in the store today also, we saw that it is now, they have moved from the plastic bags to paper bags.
Wonderful.
It
yes.
is more nature-friendly stuff going on, and
Right.
emission levels are being checked here.
Yes.
People are a bit rather much conscious about these things,
Right.
that they are ultimately going to harm us. And even Spokane, I feel really bad due to the fires, the smoke gets into it. And back home in Pakistan, Lahore, most of these winters, the levels were at that dangerous points where cities are evacuated, you see.
Yes.
And Lahore is a city which has a population of 20 million people.
Yes.
So there are...
What choices are there for the government or the government governing elite to make intelligent decisions that may be binding for hundreds or thousands of years. I don't think so they're even equipped to handle that.
No, what to talk of 100 years, at least I say 10 years, 20 years are
Yeah.
coming, at
Yes.
least it can start from there. So
I like the Chinese attitude, you know, that they never found anything in America that was binding for 4 years or one election term. China has made 5-year plans, 20-year plans, 50-year plans, and either agreed on it or forget it. And we have been doing that not at all. We are thinking in terms of 4-year election terms.
And
The
that-
people buy that are in power, and then they say, "Oh, well, the other guys did it wrong anyhow." You
Yes,
know?
in
And
fact,
that's the excuse.
China, because of the dictatorship, was able to manage that. In this democracy, which of course is farce to me, the way it is carried out and the way it is paid by the corporates, etc. I think we should conclude this discussion. It was very lively indeed. And my last point would be that, Bodo, what do you feel really, are we heading towards end of the world?
To be honest, no. The world always has found a way around it. Yes. Yes, if we couldn't have sufficient food, you have stopped
Bodo,
eating.
you lived a beautiful life for 8
Well, I went
years,
through that in
and you
Europe.
still say that even a small
Yes.
toddler has
Yeah, but I
all
came
the
out
chance
of
in the...
Europe, you know, where I know what hunger is like.
Yeah.
And it was arbitrarily done for population control. And I could assume the same could happen here. But essentially, I know there's a lot of food going around. If people would go out after the harvest and pick up the apples that have fallen off the trees, cannot be marketed, and eat it right away or process that, that would alleviate 50% of the world's hunger at this point. There is too much waste going on.
How do you see, Tim, this end of the world philosophy? Whether
I think at the end of the world, if we get hit by an asteroid or something, that's possible. But I don't think we are in
done
a
with.
state of where the human
Where
race
there is-
brings about the end of the world.
or
Unless there's a
how I take it is that there are no finish lines actually.
Right.
As before there was an ice age.
Oh, yeah.
There is a continuous evolution. When we talk of end of the world is, in fact, we are trying to say that this present form of living or administration or governance, maybe that would end, or some call it civilization or whatever. It appears hardly a civilization.
Yeah.
How uncivilized we are. How do you take it, Alison? You are pretty young and you have got a lot of agendas, must be. Huh?
Yeah, yes,
So
it can't be over.
You will never accept
No.
that we are heading towards end
There's
of the
no
world.
finish line for me.
Yes, there are no finish lines.
But we don't know exactly how, because we're looking back in history, you know, there were the Mayans, all the different civilizations that became extinct. And I don't know if we necessarily are free of that. We don't know exactly where all this is going to lead us. So,
Well, let's hope for the better, and thank you very much. We had a lovely this New Year party, and hope to keep thinking on such lines. But to me and Bodo, the thing which worries us most is that the America, which certainly came up to this standard due to the competition and due to free economy and democracy, now must turn to some civility and humanity angles also.
yes.
Because that Ayn Rand philosophy, which Trump's team believes in, is totally anti-altruism, you see. To me, each of us are interconnected. may it be a person, tree, or anything in nature, we are interconnected. We are not interdependent though, but we are interconnected. And I also say that we are neither the creature nor the observer. We are the field that universe consists of. We are the field, basically, that field we are. So from that point of view, Alison, you should be happy, Bodo, you should be happy,
Yeah.
that we are the field, we will keep on evolving
Right.
in one way or the other, in one shape
Oh,
or
yeah.
the other. What really matter would be good intentions. What really matter would be living for others. Nothing can beat it.
Yes.
How much amount of power anyone wields,
Yeah.
then power which nature wields, which this light of the each individual soul wields, there is no comparison to, and that is an authentic power. And I wish we talk about that rather than the power being exercised in the White House.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening. And to our viewers also,
Yes.
goodbye from here, United States.
Now we will find out, how much hum is on Allison's